Okay, hi everyone. So today, right, I'm going to deal with this topic, understanding the new contact address regime. And this is something that's new. So, if you are an officer of a company, right, you most probably might have received an email or letter from the registrar. The registrar being ACRA, that there's this new contact address regime. We have quite a lot of clients that contacted us regarding this new contact address regime. Generally, it's about putting up an alternate address. So what I'll do, right, is I'll go through this new contact address regime uh, briefly in this presentation. So hopefully it will try to alleviate some misconceptions with the regime. Okay, so this is the agenda for what I'm going to go through today. Okay, I'll just explain the new regime, right, and the requirement for an alternate address. Currently, you have one registered address. That means if let's say you're an officer of the company, like let's say myself, let's say I'm a director of a company, so I'll have this registered address which is based on, like, for example, my identification card. So I have my NRIC or identification card number that's posted as my the address on my NRIC or identification card, right, is actually posted as my registered address. And there's no such thing as a contact address currently. So in future, right, there's going to be this new contact address that's put up in the business profile. So currently, if you search for company details, you will see my registered address. But this registered address is going to be taken over by this thing called contact address. So now currently, right, like let's say I have a registered address, but I want my registered address to be subservient to an alternate address. Like that means I want the registrar to contact me on my alternate address. So my alternate address, right, I will register with the registrar saying that please contact me at my office, which is in wherever the office is. So that means that rather than sending letters to my registered address, which is my place of residence, I prefer that the registrar contact me in my office, which is my alternate address. Okay, so now currently, right, the alternate address I need to register with BizFile Plus. There were some amendments, right, and this was in a bill that was enacted on the 2nd of July 2024 by Parliament, and this introduces the use of a contact address. So like I mentioned, right, currently the disclosure is residential address, which means that wherever you stay, you need to put your residential address, and then if you don't provide alternate address, that residential address will be shown in the registry, which means that if let's say someone does a search on your company and then you are listed as one of the officers or shareholders, your residential address will pop up in the business profile. So like I mentioned, right, all addresses are shown in ACRA's registers. But this new regulation, which I mean, it was a bill and then it was enacted by Parliament, which means that it's coming into force already. This new regulation will come into force by end of 2024. So instead of having a residential address in the public records, right, in future, the registrar or the public records will only portray this thing called a contact address. So all company officers must provide a contact address. If you're a director, if you're a secretary, if you're a CEO, you need to provide a contact address. Okay, so that means once you provide a contact address, or once you provide an alternate address, this address will be shown in the registry. That means if you do a search on this company, right, they will show this contact address. Uh, the residential address will be protected. That means they will not be able to see your residential address, only see your contact address. And this is the same as the current regime. That means if currently you have a residential address and an alternate address, if you put alternate address, they'll see the alternate address in the business profile. But instead of registered residential address, right, now currently is residential address. In future, it's just going to be called contact address. So this transition to this new contact address regime, right, will be implemented by end of 2024. you are encouraged to do a filing of an alternate address before December 2024. So what does it mean? If let's say you have an existing alternate address, it will be just converted to a contact address. And then the current cost, right, if let's say you want to, let's say now currently on the registrar, means on the register, right, they see it shows your residential address and you want to put maybe your contact address as your office. Yes, you can do the conversion. Previously when you register alternate address, you'll be charged $40, but because of this new regime, there's no cost for this conversion. There's no cost for you to submit your contact address. So if you need to file a alternate address, which means that you want to so-called mask your residential address, well, not always mask your residential address, but you just prefer to be contacted on your alternate address, which is maybe your office, maybe it might be somewhere central. Then you every day you go to work there. Then you don't want letters to be coming to your home address. Then maybe you just register an alternate address. Okay, but if let's say what happens if you don't put an alternate address, then it's okay. Your residential address will just be used as your contact address. So it's not compulsory for everyone to have an alternate address. It's not compulsory for everyone to register a contact address that is not their residential address. By default, your residential address is your contact address. But if you do not want the default, then you need to provide an alternate address and that will become your contact address. Okay, so how to update? You can log into ACRA's BISWA Plus system to update. If not, then you just contact your appointed company secretary at Raffles Corporate Services. Okay, you can refer to ACRA's website. There's detailed information there. They have the e-service to provide alternate address. You can do yourself or you can just contact us and we'll assist you with that. That's if you're our client, then of course we can definitely assist you with that. So if you already have an alternate address provided, you don't need to do anything. The alternate address will just become your contact address. So only one contact address can be provided and it applies to all associated entities. Currently, right, the alternate address concept, right, is the same. Okay, so basically contact address and alternate address, they can be used interchangeably because basically contact address and alternate address is almost the same. It's just that now it's called contact address. Okay, so you need to match the residential address jurisdiction. So for example, if let's say your residential address is in Malaysia, you cannot have a contact address in Singapore. For those foreign clients, like for example, maybe they are based in UK, so let's say their residential address is in the UK, then their contact address or their alternate address, right, has to be in the UK as well. You cannot have a residential address in country A and then your contact address or alternate address in country B. Okay, so the new BISWA system, right, will happen end of 2024. This residential or existing alternate address automatically becomes contact address. So if no alternate address, right, residential address will be converted. Okay, so that means if let's say you never provide an alternate address, then your residential address will just become your contact address. Okay, so if you require assistance with your alternate address or other corporate secretarial matters, you can contact the Raffles Corporate Services Corporate Secretarial team at this email address, which is hello@rafflescorporateservices.com. Okay, so that's all from me. I'll see you at the next video.